Hey everyone, and welcome to today's episode of the vlog. So today we're back on the Lotus. Two things we want to deal with: bodywork, brakes. That's all that matters. We've got to get through those. So today I need to put the side pod on, the dodgy side pod that I bought, and we also need to sort out the brakes because they're binding in one end. So let's carry on and get on with it and see if we can get those two things sorted. Right, so we have done this side, and this has come up perfect actually. I'm really pleased with the way this side has come out. So that side's all done. We've now prepped that. We're ready to glue this in. We're going to be using good old Tiger Seal for that. So what we're going to do is going to put a bead along here, and then the bead in this groove here, like that, and then fettle that in. Now this is, I warn you, this is going to be messy, really messy, but you'll see the aftermath because it's going to take me a little while to just get it into place. But once we get it into place, we'll then we'll let it bond, and then we will then sand this down to create a groove, and then we'll fiberglass it together. That's the plan. So we're going to basically take a little bit down there. Here we'll overlay and sand down as best we can. And then pretty much we got, what, 2 weeks to get this all sorted, because this car's going into a body shop on the 14th. So by the time you see this, it'll be a week to go, but we should be in a much better place then. Yeah, let's get that put into place, shall we? Alright, it's in. Down below it's bonded in. At the top, it's not the best. This is way out. Don't know what's happened there. But I do have, it does give me the ability to be able to build it out a little bit with fiberglass and to make sure that's nice and strong. So that's a good thing. And the same around here. So there will be some sanding, some fettling, lots of body work, more than what I actually planned. But the main thing is we've got that basic shape now that we can work with, and that is important. So we've got our shape. We'll let this cure over the next 12 hours. Then we will come back to it, and then we'll start the build out. So essentially what we'll do is we'll line this with some fiberglass to get the basic shape. We'll build up a few layers so we've got that strength in this panel here, and then once we get that strength in, we'll then fill it with some body filler and do some serious sanding. This will probably be the most intense bit of sanding that I've ever done, but it has to be right, and it will look good by the time we finish. Right, we'll come back in a few hours.
One eternity later.
So we are now back after actually been a couple of days. So our body is bonded in place, which you can see. So there is our Tiger Seal, which has done its job, and we've also done a coating of fiberglass. So we've used this fiberglass matting material here to give us our strength. So that is bonded into place. We've also done this side as well. You can barely see it, but it's there. We're going to give another couple of coats of this, and essentially all we do is just cut these little strips out, and then we pat them in with our brush. You only get 5 minutes to work with the actual solution before it hardens, but it's enough. And then once we get that sorted, we'll then get on and we use some filler to fill that out. So we're going to get on and do our second coat and our bonding down there. Then we're going to concentrate on the brakes. I need to sort the brakes out, but first let's get on with that. Okay, so fiberglassing is done on both ends, so we'll let that go off, and then after that we'll sand it with some body filler and start to make shape. But yeah, pretty pleased with that for the first attempt. You may criticize, but you know what, first time I've done this, and yeah, looks pretty good from where I'm standing. If you're a fiberglasser, you may cringe, but it can't be as bad as to what I've just bought, so we're all good. All right, let that go off now.
Many Tic Tacs later.
All right, so I'm gonna rebuild this brake caliper because it's sticking. We've taken it out as far as we can, but I now need to undo the clamp. Now, ordinarily I would clamp these hoses down, but because they are braided hoses, I can't really do that without damaging them. Hence the reason why they're braided, because they stop expanding. They stop expanding, giving you that full brake experience. So I'm gonna try a little trick, and this little trick involves putting a clamp on the brake pedal. Basically, we're just going to depress the brake pedal slightly, and what that should do is it should prevent the fluid from leaking off. I can't remember exactly how it works, but essentially what it does, it shuts off the valve and stops it from pushing the fluid out, because if you take that off, the fluid will just leak out, because it's obviously an open hose and it will just drain out. You can also put plastic liner over there. I'm not sure how effective that is, because what some people do is they take off this and then they put in plastic liner over it, which then stops it from pushing out, which yeah, could work. But we're going to try the brake method. So I'm going to put a clamp in place and then we will test it out. Okay, so I'm using my iPhone as a camera because my normal Canon's batteries run out. So this is the kit that we get. However, I'm not sure whether this is the right kit, because just looking at some of the joins here, so, and looking at these don't seem to fit. I'm pretty sure that's not right, and that doesn't expand as much as this does. So if I push that out, you can see how much these ones come out by. See that? And these don't seem to come out as much. Anyway, we need to get it out, because you can see the state of the piston is quite poor, so we need to clean it up. So we'll crank it out. I think we're right now at the limit, so that should just come out. But it doesn't. Yeah, I think we've definitely got to the limit as far as that can go. So let me do that by hand, and then we'll see if we can get that out.
2 hours later.
All right, so we managed to get the piston out, and looking at this is very similar to what we're seeing in here, and I've just managed to start to prise this out now. So there we go, that's coming out nicely. So that does seem to go in. So there's our cover. There's our piston. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to give this a wee bit of a clean up, tape it all up, and then we're going to sand all of this down so that we can really give it a clean. That is what we're going to do. And then we're going to compare these bits that we've got here with what we're seeing here. Now that's a collar. That, I think that is that. Sorry, you can't see it. Here you are. So that is that piece there. Now they are beginning to match up now as I bring them over. In here somewhere should be a little seal. If I could just see him there, a little black seal. Can you see it there? Just in between that gap and this piston. So that is our rubber seal here. And the little rubber cap here. I don't see one in our kit here, unless that is it here. That could be it. Little rubber cap. Could be that one there. Couldn't it? Could be. But I think I know more once I start taking the bits apart and then we start comparing them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring our old parts here, and then we'll take the bits out of there. Unfortunately, it's going to be difficult to do it in one hand. The only thing I'm Yeah, this is the only bit that I'm not sure about. But if I'm honest with you, it's not perished in any way, that bit. So we may not have to do anything with that. Here's another bit here. And size wise as well, it is bigger. See that? You can see that, can't you? It's bigger. So that may not be the right part. So rather than sacrifice that, I might just leave that as it is and just clean it up a little bit. But it's certainly not perished. When you push the bellows out, they do come out all right. All right, we've got something to work on, so let's do that. Well, that ends that job then, because I just taken that off. It broke clean off, and this came out of the brakes as well. That's also dislodged. So this caliper is toast. No point doing anything more to it. Gonna have to replace it, and that's probably the reason why it's jammed. And the piston, well, the piston was jamming it anyway. It wasn't going smooth, so the piston should be able to freely move up and down, and this wasn't doing it. So it was worth a shot, but this we're just going to have to replace it. So let's just do that and move on to something else. Well, the good news, this is now gone off now. So it's still a little tacky, but it's pretty much hardened off here. This bit here didn't do that bit there very well, did we? But we'll sand that free. So it still needs to go off for a little bit, and then we'll then can get down and get the P38 in there. But we'll do that on another video. I think for now we've pretty much done everything that we can, and the next episode it will be on its way to the body shop. Okay, so we got the brakes sorted, albeit we had to replace them, but it is what it is. At least they're working, and that's the main thing. And we've got the side pod now sorted-ish. So, you know, we've done some sanding and stuff with some P38, but I'm going to let the body shop take care of it. Now, in the next episode, we're going to have to get that car ready for the body shop. So, you're seeing this on the 14th. Today, this is the 14th. That's right, you're seeing this today. And the car is actually going into the body shop today. So the next video you're going to see is obviously going to be 2 weeks old, but I'm hoping that the car's painted and then you'll see it coming back. But we've got a lot of things to do to get it ready to get picked up, so tune in for the next video and you'll see that. In the meantime, don't forget to subscribe and click on the bell notification, because a lot of you're just casual viewers, and I appreciate if you would just click on that subscribe button. Anyway, we will see you on the next one. Have a good one, and we'll see you very soon.